Coach Munoz.
What's going on?
Not much, man. You got to be super proud right now. Your boy just won a state title.
Yes.
What are you feeling in the corner during that match?
Oh my gosh. I think every father who's coached their son can attest to this, but the nerves I had was so great. But I try to be calm in front of him, but man, I was so nervous, you know. But you know, at the same time, I know he put in all the work. I know his faith in God and his hard work, his work ethic, his diligence. Everything he put inside the wrestling room, on the mats, like I knew he can pull it off. So I was still nervous though.
Yeah.
You know.
Is it comparable to before you would wrestle or fight the way you feel?
Oh my gosh, no. I mean, the nerves compared to that is totally different. I can calm my nerves, but you know, I think it's because I can't control it. You know, I'm not physically in there, but he is.
Yeah.
You know, and so I was so much more nervous during his big matches than I was nervous for mine.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I have my son's almost 2 years old. I hope he wants to wrestle.
There you go.
I don't think I'll coach him, but if I were to, what would your advice be to me?
Yeah. So fathers that are coaching their sons, like you got to get emotions out of it. You know. You know, like I always tell him, I said, "But I'm going to record every single match, and with every single match, I want you to come up to me and I want you to talk about what are some of the things that I could have done differently, Dad, to be better in that match." So all emotions aside, whether he won, whether he lost, you saw me in the corner videoing his match on my phone, and that's all we ever did when he started, focusing on wrestling in the 8th grade. So that right there will take out all the emotion and just go down to technique. And if you have the strong foundation of technique underneath you, and then it'll save your relationship with your son or your daughter, you know, because emotions are involved. You know, at the same time, what you want to do is you don't want to talk about wrestling all the time. You know, you want to be a father. You want to be a father to your son or daughter, and you want to, you know, have fun. You know, don't talk about wrestling all the time. Sometimes, you know, go on trips and, you know, and when you're wrestling, you're wrestling. When you're at home with your child, and you're talking about other things, you know, joking around with them and doing other things other than wrestling, because they can't be on wrestling mode like all the time. You know, because then they'll burn out. So
one thing your son said was that he started wrestling, but he wasn't really into it until around 8th grade, just before high school. What do you think was the switch? So
he didn't tell you how good he was in soccer and baseball. So in soccer, his team made the National Cup, and they did really well there. I believe they took in the top 4 in the nation at his club. Then he went to Cooperstown, New York, and traveled to a national baseball tournament and did unbelievable there. You know, and then he went to the Freak Show. You know.
Yeah.
And at the Freak Show, this is in the 8th grade. He went to the Freak Show and went 0-2. Didn't win a single match, but he came like one day a week, maybe like twice a week, sometimes. But the guys at the Freak Show were going 5 days a week, maybe 3, 4, 5 days a week. A lot more than him, you know. So after he got done and wrestling the Freak Show, he went 0-2. He wouldn't talk to me, and I guess he thought it was my fault or whatever. I said, "But listen, you're not putting in the time, bud. You know, these guys are going 3, 4, 5 days a week. You're going maybe 1 day, 2 days a week sometimes. You know, you need to step it up if you really want to do it." You know, I said, "But listen, soccer and baseball are awesome for you. You know, you're doing great." You know, and then about a week later, he says, "Dad, I want to quit soccer and baseball and I want to wrestle." And I was like, "Why? Why? Dude, you're so good at soccer and baseball. Why?" And even his mom was like, "You don't want to wrestle? You got to cut weight. It's not fun sometimes. Like, you don't want to wrestle." And I'm like, "Shh, hey, stop. he can wrestle if he wants. If he loves it, he can wrestle if he wants. And she's like, no, you don't want to wrestle. And I'm like, hey, come, hey, if he wants to wrestle, let him wrestle, you know?
Yeah.
So he made that decision, and I called all the best guys in our area, and they started working out with him. Jesse Vasquez, Bo Perez, Josh Medina, Simon. There were so many guys that came out and worked out with him. Richie Herrera, you know, it was amazing that the support that he had for him. So then, and then he made huge jumps. As a freshman, he made it to, didn't make it to state. Almost made
the mouthpiece story.
Yeah, the mouthpiece story. And as a sophomore, that was at 113s, by the way. Then as a sophomore, he went 26s, went 3-2 at state, and then this is the big jump. He went to 120, went from 126 to 152.
Dang.
Got to make it to the finals. And then from last year to this year, he's 170s. And then he won. He's state champ this year. So it's a process, man. You know, and you got to take the good and the bad, but then the bad helps you become good. You know, and so it's been a journey. And with all emotion aside, I was there to just encourage him and be there as a dad and a coach. But there's a very fine line.
Yeah.
You can't be dad and coach at the same time. You can't. You got to be dad, and then you got to be coach. Can't be dad and coach at the same time.
Does it seem crazy? Like I feel like it was like a couple months ago I was watching you wrestle. Now your son, he's going to college. You know, he's going to Arizona State.
It's surreal, man. It's unbelievable, and it's my baby boy, man.
Yeah, he's not such a baby.
He's not a baby, but like I still see him as my little baby. You know, from the time he came out the womb, and now it's just like, wow, time flies so much, and I really try to create traditions with my family and my wife and I, and we really try to like set family as a priority first over all else, to be able to have relationships with our kids, you know. And so and it's gone by so fast. I can't tell you how. I mean, he's going to college. I mean, he's reporting to college in June. I mean, it's now almost March, April, May. I mean, 2.5 months he's in college, and I'm not going to have him here. And my daughter is already off to Hawaii. She's there too, and I got 2 little younger ones, and we're going to be empty nesters after a while. It's crazy, and I'm young, you know. But it's all good. I just love that they're going after their passions, like Trey is, and you know, I love my family so much, and I'll do anything for them, and that's why I retired from MMA, you know, because so I can be there for my family more.